10 things every teenager needs to know before they're 20. School teaches you maths, science, English, but it seems to miss out on so many life lessons that we all need. It doesn't teach you how to handle pressure, setbacks, build confidence, and just know what you actually want to do in life. So today I'm sharing 10 things every teenager needs to know before they turn 20, things that I wish I learned when I was your age. My name is Jordan, the Teen Mentor, and I've worked with thousands of teenagers, athletes, and young adults. And I want to share with you today the lessons which are going to take you to the next level if you apply them. So let's get into it. Number one, you don't find confidence, you build it. One thing that I find a lot of mistakes happen is where people think that confidence has to come to them first, where in actual fact, it works the opposite way. We build confidence after we start doing the thing. I like to believe that when it comes to moving from the first thing, it's about having just a belief in yourself. Belief in the fact that if I put myself into a position, I know I'm going to find a way to get there. Confidence is about having done it before and knowing that you can do it again. And the difference between belief and confidence, courage. So rely more on courage than you are on confidence. If you can believe in yourself that I can put myself out there and just give things a go, you are going to get to a confidence level where it's going to be easier, you're going to feel good, and you're going to make a massive difference. So action first, confidence comes second. 2, pain is part of life, suffering is optional. When we look at the way we do suffering, is that suffering is all about the focus on the mindset, the meaning that you give to something. Pain is always going to happen, but you can have pain from doing something you really enjoy. If you're out there playing soccer, gaming, you can have pain from playing the game itself. The pain can be not sleeping when you're gaming. The pain can be you running really fast to get to the ball to help your team out. The suffering, on the other hand, comes from us when we don't understand why we're doing it and when there's no real understanding of the greater purpose. When we find that we are suffering from something, it's because we don't understand why we're doing it and we haven't got the meaning behind it. So we want to accept pain as part of the journey, not as something that can be avoided, and it's something that's going to help us to grow. If we find that we accept pain as part of the journey, we will not suffer, but we will grow. Number 3, your feelings are real, but they don't control you. We always like to think that we're going to get into this point where we just don't feel emotion, that we're going to be able to block it out and not have to think about it ever again. But in fact, that's very wrong because emotions are always going to happen, but they do not control us. Where our focus goes, our energy flows. If you are constantly focused on things which are unhappy in your life, which are really annoying, which are really frustrating, you'll continually be frustrated, annoyed, and you'll get angry. You'll be like, why is it so easy for everyone else and not for me? But that's because your energy and your focus are in the wrong place. You're trying to control the emotion, when in fact we need to let the emotion flow. It's almost like grains of sand in your hand. If you held that rhyme, that was nice. If you have a whole bunch of sand in your hand, the sand in your hand represents emotions. And if you find yourself trying to grab onto emotion the whole time, you don't allow it to flow. But if you just have it on there and you let the breeze blow and blow it off, then the emotion is going to move on too. In the same way, when we are wanting to be happy and focus on something, it's important to understand that we will be happy and we will have enjoyment of things that we like doing. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, those emotions will flow on too. It's not about trying to think that everything in our life has to be really happy or really joyful, because we're going to have moments where things that happen outside of our control are going to cause us to feel emotions that are more negative, and that's okay too. That's just a part of being human. So I want you to think about emotions as signals to what you're doing, but not something that are commands is telling us how to live our life, or something that is going to hold us there in that spot all the time. So shifting your focus will help you to understand where the emotion's going and where we can move towards. Number 4, nobody has it figured out yet, especially adults. We like to think that our parents know everything when it comes to doing it all. We like to think that all those people on the TV have it all sorted out because they're so successful. In actual fact, we're all still figuring out every day. It's not about having that thing where, when I get to a certain age, I've got it sorted. No, that's not how it works. It's all about making sure that we take one step at a time and just focus on the next thing. If we're constantly trying to think about, I have to have it figured out before I do this thing, We're never going to get there. It's so important that we need to make sure that we're focusing on ourselves and not comparing ourselves to other people. When we start comparing ourselves to others, we start to lose confidence. And do you know what? Social media is just a fabrication of someone's life. It's not real. You don't get to see the other side of things. So if we're thinking that everyone else is sorted out except for us, we're lying to ourselves. And so what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about what you can start controlling in your life and start acting on that now. And when we start doing that, then things will start to feel like you're figuring it out, and that's good. But we can never think that everything is going to fall into our lap or that everyone else has all the answers. Number 5, discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation comes and goes. You know what it's like. You wake up one day, you feel motivated, you're like, I'm going to go out there and run 5K. I'm going to go and smash it right now. And the next day, you're like, I literally all I want to do is lay in bed. That is a normal transition through motivation. So we can't rely on motivation to get us from A to B all the time. We must rely on discipline. Discipline comes through habits and making sure we understand the greater goal of what we're doing. When we can understand a big picture of what's happening, that's when we start to see the discipline and then the results. When we have discipline, we build momentum, and it's all about making sure we have small habits that are going to start taking us from A to B, even on the days we don't feel motivated. Number 6, failure is feedback. It is not your identity. When we fail, sometimes we like to think, oh my God, that's like literally my life. That's my self-worth. That's everything. That's just proving to me I'm not good enough. But is that true, really? Because if you look at on the other side of things, if you get a perfect score in your exam, does that mean that you are the most perfect student? Probably not. So it's important to understand that on that day where you get a very low score or you don't do very well, that does not tell you that you're the worst student or you're, just a terrible person. It is just a reason to learn. It's feedback saying to us, you didn't quite nail this area, but you know what? You can work on that, and now we know where to go from. We know which weaknesses we have, and we're going to use our strengths, which have got us so far in all these other areas, to bring us back up on that other area. So I want you to think about failure is not feedback, it's part of the journey. If you never failed, you're literally not trying hard enough. If you're someone who just tries to avoid failure, you're holding yourself back. So I want you to accept failure as part of the journey. There are hurdles, there are obstacles every step of the way, and I want you to feel like you are getting more out of the obstacles and hurdles than you are just out of the successes. So I want you to keep that in mind. Number 7, friends shape your future. One of the most important analogies that I like to use is actually when it comes to the soil around a plant. You can have the most amazing sunshine, rain, you can have all those things that it needs. But if you have not got the right soil around the plant, it will not grow. It will be stunted in its growth and it will not be able to get what it really needs. Your friends are what you really need. They are the nutrients that help you grow. They are that support to keep you robust and not blow you away. And I don't know, it's just nice to have friends around. It makes you feel good. But I want you to understand that the friends that you choose are the standards that you uphold. There's a great saying, you are the sum of the 5 best friends or the 5 people you hang around most, which means that if you hang around 5 people who are very unmotivated and don't really care very much, you're probably the 6th one of that. If you hang around people who are motivated, want to do cool things, friendly, loving, funny, you are that person too. So I want you to find where your friends are in this world and the ones which are going to benefit you the most, because having that friendship, that soil around you that's going to help you grow, they'll take you so far. And I can tell you what, I've had friends on both sides and I know which ones I like to hang around more. Number 8, you are responsible for your life. Accountability is a big issue. We all like to kind of not have accountability because it's easy to let ourselves go, to not make mistakes, to not own up to them, and therefore we tend to not get the most out of ourselves. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from parents is the fact that they don't believe their teenagers and kids have accountability or responsibility for their life. And you know what? A lot of the time, they're very, very true. And I honestly think it's one of those things that no matter what age you are, holding responsibility for the actions that are happening and the things which happen to you or from you is really important. Some things really suck. Like say, for example, one thing happened to me, okay? I dislocated my shoulder in a jiu-jitsu competition. It really hurt, it sucked. But you know what? I could have blamed the other guy. I could have said, you know what? That was his fault. But what good would that do for me? Will blaming him make it feel better? No, absolutely not. When I take on responsibility, I have control. When I have control, I can get myself back to a better place. If you are constantly late to school, that's your responsibility. You need to make sure that you're responsible for that. Even if your parents don't wake up on time, it's your responsibility as a teenager to make sure you get that alarm sorted, to make sure you remind your parents, to make sure you get your books and your breakfast ready so you can go. That is what's going to take you to the next level. The more ownership you have over the things which happen in your life, the more power you have. If you start blaming other people, the power goes to them and you will never have that power. But if you start taking responsibility and ownership for those things that happen, you will have so much power you won't know what to do with it. And that's what we want to have. Number 9, learn how to be uncomfortable. There's a great saying, which I heard from all my footy, sports, soccer coaches, cricket coaches, everything. Be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And what that means is you will be in uncomfortable situations. And you know what? You're going to go outside that comfort zone. But if you can feel comfortable being there and you're like, I know what this feels like, I know I can handle myself, it is going to build you so much confidence. It's going to remove that anxiety and it's going to help you to do so many cool things. Because all the biggest things which could happen for us in our life comes from being uncomfortable. That situation where you have to public speak in front of friends or in the class, that position where you get in where someone gives you the ball, 3 seconds to go on the clock, you got to nail that 3-pointer. These things are what make people great. And if you can just enjoy what it's like to be uncomfortable, you're going to go so far, I can guarantee it. Number 10, so important, one thing which has taken me so long to understand, you are more capable than you think. If you think that you're someone who just isn't built for this or don't have the potential, lying to yourself. We all know we can do more, but it's about the conscious effort you've got to put in to make sure you get there. Most people quit too early. Most people talk themselves out of things before they actually get there. But if you can believe in your heart and soul that what you're doing is to achieve that potential, is meaningful, you'll go so much further than you think. The fastest way to stop yourself from doing something, to think your way out of it and to talk yourself out of it. The best way to make sure you stay in it, just have that belief in yourself, that warm feeling in your chest, knowing that you are more capable than you think. And if you start doing that, you will start to discover this strength even under the heaviest pressure. Because you know what? You believe in yourself. And that's what we want. So that was the 10 things which I believe every teenager needs to know before they're 20. Without a doubt, will change your life if you start implementing these now. If you start implementing these now, you will go so far, you won't even recognize the person you are today. So if you want to make sure you jump on this journey, you start making these amazing changes, I want you to subscribe, jump on, learn more about yourself than you ever would at school. And I want you to be able to help go the next distance by keeping me involved too. Share, learn, grow, and I want you to subscribe. If you're a parent watching this, send this to your teenager, and I want you to also subscribe too, so you know more about how to implement these things for yourself too, because we all need that support at times. Okay, that's all we got time for. Until next time.